Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a. Where is it? Oh. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. All of our sponsors are linked in the description on YouTube and tagged on Facebook. So thanks so much for being there. What do y'all think, y'all? I ask you this all the time when I wear these shirts. That one unbuttoned or buttoned? Camera one, camera two. Buttoned? I would never go all the way buttoned. But buttoned? Or, a little more casual. Let's keep it unbuttoned for now. See how we go. Okay, y'all. Thanks for being there with us. Thanks for being there with us. We'll say some good mornings here in just a quick second. Two things on the docket. Brian Kelly met with reporters via the SEC teleconference on Wednesday. Said they're moving Javen Toviano to star. Gives them the option of kicking Major Burns back to safety. It's kind of a concern for me. We've talked a lot about how many issues LSU's had at safety, but Major Burns in his career started 23 games back at safety. So he's played a lot back there, but he is way, way better at that star spot where he can be close to the line of scrimmage, putting his nose in there, making tackles. Having him back in coverage is a problem. I mean, he was part of that secondary last year that was running around with their hands up in the air, wondering why guys were running by him. And if they feel like Major Burns is one of their two best options at safety, that's a big problem. Cool. I suppose we'll find out a week from Saturday, but it's also worth mentioning that Brian Kelly didn't say point blank, we're moving Major Burns to safety. He didn't say that. He said they're moving Javen Toviano to star in case they need to move Major Burns back to safety. Then Toviano could play star, which is something he did in fall camp, by the way. Toviano played star in fall camp. But it's still a little alarming that you would be considering Major Burns for a move back to safety because is so abundantly clear he is better at the line of scrimmage, which I think everyone already knew. I think the coaches knew it. It's why they put him there. And if they were to do that, that would effectively be them telling you, we know this ain't his best spot, but he's the best guy we got at that spot. All the more reason you better go recruit safeties, man. I know you got Blaine Bradford on, in your crosshairs for 2026, but that's still a minute away, y'all. For what it's worth, Major Burns, PFF grades, his highest grade is his tackling grade at 70.8. His lowest grade is his coverage grade at 55.3. I don't want him covering nobody. Okay, we can also talk about Davante Adams as well if y'all want. We got a lot of good stuff up at louisianasports.net if you want to check it out. Ross has done a really good job covering the Davante Adams thing and then the Davante Adams developments as we continue to wait and see if, in fact, somebody is able to get a deal done. It was interesting because the report from Adam Schefter on Wednesday was that Adams prefers to be with a quarterback he knows. So it would be either Aaron Rodgers with the Jets or Derek Carr with the Saints. Now, ultimately, there has to be reciprocal interest from the team. You got to be able to get a deal done. So there's a lot of hurdles you have to cross. But sometimes if the player wants to go to a certain place, maybe you work to get that done. So Well, wouldn't that be something if the Saints ended up with Devante Adams? That would certainly remake your receiver room. And I understand that he's pushing 32 years old, but um, you know, he's still a dynamic player. How much of how much long term security are you looking to give him? How much does he elevate your team, your roster? All things worth asking. So, okay, y'all. Let's say some good mornings here. Brian Penn, good morning from Cincinnati. Oh, Matt, see the video of Paul at baseball practice yesterday. I did not. Paul Pulmonary, Paul Skeens. I did not. Jason H, good morning. Merrick Mathern, good morning. Thomas, good morning. 58 and chilly. There it is, Northern Alabama. Brian Wynn, good morning. Taylor Hudson, Jason H, unbuttoned. Got it. I like it too. Hey, Damon, good morning. Ryan Stadler, morning, Matt. Major Burns moving again. When you have players you're constantly shuffling around, it starts to feel like a way of saying they're not good enough to be out here. Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think they're trying to figure out who are the best 11 they can get and in what spots do they put them. Again, it doesn't mean Major Burns is moving, to be very clear. With what Brian Kelly said is it gives them the option to move Major Burns back to safety if they need to. So if they keep struggling at safety, they could put Major back there because he's started 23 games. He's in his 5th year. He's played a ton of football. Major Burns' first game at LSU was the UCLA game in the Rose Bowl. So, and he started that day, by the way. So, there's they might be thinking it gives you an option to put a veteran player back there. Let's see. Tim, good morning. Chris, good morning. Davante Adams in the black and gold would give us more depth at receiver. Given we don't have anyone after Olave and Shaheed, I'm for it. I hope he's serious about coming here. I think he would absolutely be serious about coming to New Orleans, but remember, it's not his choice. The Raiders have to trade him. So it's not, would Devante sign here? That's not the question. It's, would the Raiders trade him here? And that comes down to, do the Saints want him and what compensation are they willing to give for him? There's no doubt that if you add Davante Adams to the New Orleans Saints, you are a better football team. Like, that's not even debatable. The real question is, does he make you a contending football team, a good enough football team that it's worth giving up future assets in draft picks and committing a sizable financial commitment to Adams for the future when he would be 33, 34 years old. What's the offense has higher upside potential than the Jets and decrepit old Aaron Rodgers? I don't know that it's decrepit old Aaron Rodgers. I don't think it's necessarily Aaron Rodgers' fault that team stinks. Brian Penton sings still on the Detroit Tigers team. Oh, Lang. Yes, Lang had tore his UCL, had Tommy John though this year, so he's not playing right now. Eli, a few days ago, you said Georgia is still better than Bama, but I disagree. You play to win the game. There's always a story, but winning is what matters. Why even play if not to win? Keep up the good work. I do believe Georgia is a better football team than Alabama. But that is why you play the games. It's why last year I was very, very, very much in the corner of Florida State, who went undefeated. Why bother playing football games if the results don't matter? So to your point, Eli, Alabama won the football game. And so they will reap the benefit of that win, the higher ranking, the marquee win for the committee, all that stuff. Of course, they should. And if it comes down to it, let's say Bama loses one game and Georgia and Bama are both one-loss teams. Now, no, this isn't the scenario that will play out because of conference championship game, whatever. And it came down to a head-to-head with those two, Bama should get it because they won head-to-head. Of course, that matters. Winning the game on the field matters. I'm not disputing that in any way. I just look at a team that Bama on their home field got 4 turnovers and a safety and still needed a miracle play in the end of the game to beat Georgia. And they didn't, but if Georgia played Bama and played a clean game, they win that game and win it handily. Look at what they did in the second half when they played clean. Bama had like 16 rushing yards in the second half. If they play again, they might. I'll bet on Georgia to win it again. Michael Cook, good morning. Skeens. Skeens was at LSU baseball practice? Cool. Abner, good morning. Weston Weaver, morning, Matt. With the 5-star DT moving to the 25 class, does LSU Collective have enough NIL to go around to entertain him? So you're talking about Jakeem Stewart, who is not yet reclassified. He's certainly planning to do it. I mean, it's why I left St. Aug and went to Carr, was so that he could reclassify. And those aren't familiar, Jakeem Stewart's the number 1 overall player in the country for 2026, meaning he's a high school junior right now, number 1 player in the country, but he just transferred to Edna Carr from St. Aug, and the idea is he wants to reclassify because Aug wouldn't let him reclassify. And so he would graduate a year early. They will make it work. Put it to you that way. They'll make it work. Thomas, you guys are banging out some great stories. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate that. Yeah, y'all check out LouisianaSports.net if you haven't done it yet. Patrick, happy Thursday coming down for Ole Miss. Super pumped. Agree with you. Patrick, you always made me do this. We win this game at the Valley. We change the dynamic of the season, put ourselves in great position to go 10-2 or 9-3. Who knows? Maybe run the table. Yeah. I mean, this is so, and this isn't, something unique to this moment. That's been my point from the summer. When people ask what's the most important game of the season, I mean, I've said it's from the beginning, it's Ole Miss, because that's going to be a pendulum swinging game. You win that game. So even if you were 5-1, you win that game. In theory, you could go 5-1 in the second half of the season. You're 10-2 with a win over Ole Miss. Possibly win over Bama, depending on how that other 5-1 would look. You have a resume that could be a playoff resume. You lose this game, then you've left yourself no margin for error. Because you lose this game, now you're at 2 losses. You have to run the table if you want to be a playoff team. Hang on one second, y'all. Let me go stop Drew's sound machine. Okay, here we go. Turn off the light. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, hang on. Turn off the light.
Okay.
Hey, come see. Come see that action. Okay. What do we say?
Come on. Hi, Doctor.
Can you say good morning?
Good morning.
Good morning. Doing so good. Hey, did we do homework last night?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll see you later. This is a quick visit, but we got one. Good morning. Hi, Tasha. Good morning. It's cute. I'm biased, but it's cute. Okay, smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. We appreciate y'all for being there. As always, shout out to Brock at Parrish. You need North Peach, go to Brock. You need a roof, call us at Parrish. You got Parrish pinned in the chat. Remember, for Brock, also over at Brock, tomorrow after the Friday Night Clinic, free Friday Night Clinic. Any high school football player, cheerleader, band member, anybody gets injured on football Friday night, you go see a doctor for free at Brock at their free Friday Night Clinic. Scone and Tea's back tonight, y'all. Happy Scone and Tea night. We'll see y'all. T-Bob and I will see y'all from Curbside tonight, 7 o'clock. Michael, Saints can't afford him. Need to stop overpaying. Need to stop that bleeding. Need to solve the penning problem. Could get Renfro or someone running the slot. Solve two problems cheaply. That is a backpack blue. Okay. Michael, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think Adams would obviously make you immediately better. But I don't think that with Davante Adams, you're a contender. And that's my big problem. So do you give up future assets for someone that's going to make you better, but not going to make you a contender? And that's where I have a problem. So that's where I would say no. But I believe the Saints front office disagrees with me. I think they believe they are contenders and are trying to contend. And so they want to get better immediately to try to win. That's why they invested all the money they did in Derek Carr. Tiger Diver, morning, Scone. Who's your favorite person that you've interviewed? Oh, man. Tony Williams, good morning. Favorite person I've interviewed? Gary V. I've done literally thousands, and I couldn't possibly think of all of them. That one just popped in my mind. Tara Walker, morning from Memphis to South Carolina. Have a chance versus Ole Miss. Is Ole Miss quarterback still hurt? I think you're asking if South Carolina's quarterback still hurt. So Lenore Sellers was hurt against LSU, didn't play the second half. He missed their game against Akron, and then they had a bye week. So he's had basically 21 days to recover. And he is expected to play this weekend against Ole Miss. Does South Carolina have a chance? Sure, they have a chance at home. Ole Miss is a better team, but South Carolina's defensive front is big and physical, like Kentucky's, and Kentucky's really pushed Ole Miss around. What, buddy? Hi. Hi, Drewby. Ryan, by the way, stay calm, Tiger Nation. It's been since 2008 that Ole Miss won in Baton Rouge, Houston Nut era. I remember the game. It was Jeremiah Mazzoli. I was there. The Mad Marine, what up, my guy? What up, man? Good morning. James McKinney, good morning. Blue. Okay. Cajun Country, morning. Devante Adams is worth a second-round pick, especially the way the Saints draft. Well, no, man. Like, for a while there, I gave the Saints the benefit of the doubt whenever they made a trade or when they took somebody because they had earned it. When you look starting in 2017, it wasn't just 17. I mean, they really started crushing some drafts. Like 17 is one we always talk about with Lattimore and Ramchick and Marcus Williams, Kamara, Anzalone, Trey Hendrickson, Al-Qadim Muhammad. Like they crushed it. But then they even had some other ones too. Like 2018 was a disaster, but 19 you hit on Eric McCoy, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Caden Ellis was a 7th round pick. I mean, you hit on some of these guys. 20 was Ruiz, Bond, Troutman, and Tommy Stevens. But even Pete Werner, Paulson Adebo, Landon Young was a 6th round pick who's still playing for you. But there's been a lot of misses. Like look, Alontae Taylor was a 2. Kool-Aid was a 2. So Pete Werner was a 2. Eric McCoy was a 2. So I guess my point is like you've hit on a lot of 2nd round picks. Don't like just discard that. They've done well in round 2. Lowell, good morning. Jesse Brown, how can LSU win big games? I'm sorry. How can LSU win big against an FBS school but move down a spot in the rankings? I don't know. I don't really care. Honestly, Jesse, I don't mean to be dismissive, but like rankings have never mattered less than they do now because of the playoff. It's just what does the playoff selection committee think? The rankings just don't matter. Just go win. Win and that stuff takes care of itself. Brant, over under 3 years till LSU wins another natty in football. So I'll tell you this, Brant. Here's why I hesitate. Hi, Drew. So if you're saying like, would they win one by Kelly year 6? So like 25, 6, 7. So within 27. Hi, Drew. I would say, Brant, that there will certainly be a playoff team. The uncertainty is only rooted in the fact that I don't know what a 12-team playoff is going to look like. I just don't know how that's going to look, how it's going to play out. You know what I mean? Like, are we going to see dark horse teams make a run? Is it still just going to be the best team every year, just puts their thumb on people and wins? But I will tell you, Brant, that if they finish 2025 and they get Bryce Underwood and all these guys we're expecting here in 25, DJ Pickett, Harlem Berry, all these guys sign, right? That is the cornerstone of a championship class. And then if you get the Louisiana guys in 26, now you put together back-to-back classes that are like elite blue chip championship level classes. And I would think that combination of players, Bryce Underwood, Harlem Berry, DJ Pickett, Blaine Bradford, Lamar Brown, like if you get a Jakeem Stewart, like if you get those guys, like that is a championship roster. Yes, I would tell you, I think that team certainly is a deep run playoff team and maybe wins the championship. And so that would be, by the time the 25 class are juniors, that would be 27. So I'm not telling you should be pumped about waiting 3 more years, but I'm telling you, I mean, look, if Nuss comes back next year and your defense keeps improving and you're bringing in DJ Pickett and Jakeem Stewart potentially and Dominic McKinley, like you could be a playoff team next year. Absolutely. So I guess all I'm saying is I'll take the under. Hey, Brian, 10 Stewart practice with Carr since he's ineligible to play. Brian, you got to stop texting while you're driving, dog. I think, okay, are you asking, can Jakeem Stewart practice with Edna Carr since he's ineligible? I don't know if that is a good question, Brian, if that's what you're asking. I think that's what you're asking. I don't know the answer to that. Let me find out. Because that is a good question. Drew, what up? Here's all the Drew ones. Chris, going into Ole Miss, does LSU replicate Kentucky's strategy, run to shorten the game, keep Ole Miss offense on the field? I don't think so, man. I mean, you do what you do. And what you do is you throw the football. And if they're going to line up, stop the run, you throw the football. Now, if they drop back, play coverage, then you run it. But I don't know that LSU's built like that, man, to try to play the style that Kentucky played. Dane, good morning. Michael, great kid. Trivia, good morning. Quentin, good morning. Brant Roban headed to Perdido Key for a week. Okay, man. Enjoy, dude. That's great, man. Hope you all have a great, great time. Dalton, good morning. Thank you, man. Team Drew. Jay, not that it matters. This current LSU squad would have beaten USC. A Wood Weeks in the middle solidifies our defense is good, not great, but nothing like last year, in my opinion. Yeah, man. Like, let's not forget you didn't have Zy Alexander in that game. Deshaun Spears wasn't really playing at safety yet. Sage Ryan played corner in that game. Took 51 snaps at corner. I mean, hi, Drew. It's a big part of the reason why. Hi, Drew. While week 1, when you're still figuring out your team, it's not always the best idea to play a really good opponent. Dane, good morning. T-Bob's wearing yoga pants on OTB. Please dress him better for Scone. Go this way. Ryan, their quarterback was Jevin Sneed. Sneed was 08? I thought Masoli was 08. When was Jeremiah Masoli? Was Masoli the 13 game? Okay, so Mazzoli was Oregon 8-9, then it was at Ole Miss in 10. Oh, was that the game? 10 was the game. 10 was the game in Baton Rouge with Masoli, where LSU had to rally to win that game. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Stephen Ridley who scored the game-winning touchdown with like a minute left in that game. That's what I was thinking of. 08. Oh, they put it on LSU in 08. 31-13. Yeah. They put it on LSU in 08. That was a miserable defense. Sheesh. 409 total yards to 215. Sheesh. Yup. All right, y'all, please smash the like button. Got about 3 minutes left. Backpack blower. Please smash the like button if you would subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Joel, morning, Matt, random thought I had while watching NFL games. If you could add one guy from an NFL team, a blower. Okay. To each side of the ball, not a quarterback. If you could have one guy from an NFL team on each side of the ball, not a quarterback, to a college. Defensive line. Absolutely defensive line. Offensive lineman could handle a guy like Aaron Donald or like Jeffrey. Take Jeffrey Simmons. Take Chris Jones. I know there's two Mississippi State guys, but take those two guys, put them in the middle of LSU's defensive line. Shoot. They'd win a championship this year. Trivia, AK was second round. AK was third round. They moved up to take Kamara in round 3. That was the year. That was 2017 when Marcus Williams out of Utah was the second rounder. They took Kamara and Hendrickson in round 3. Hootie, how much would it cost to get Terrace Marshall from the 49ers practice squad? Nothing. You would just sign a player from a team's practice squad. And you have to give him a contract, but I'm sure it'd be like veteran minimum type deal. Avid, good. What up, Christian? Good morning, man. Of course, Avid inspection specialist. Great partner of ours on Scone and Tea. So if you enjoy Scone and Tea, a big shout out to Curbside, Bayou Transformers, and Avid inspection specialists. So you need a home inspection or inspection of any type of building. Give my guy a shout. Leon Williams, good morning. AK was third round. Told you. Reed, good morning. Not buying Adams trade talk, but what about any O-line trade? Well, I don't know that I'd say I'm not buying it. I mean, they're kicking the tires on it. Now, do they get it done? Now, that's a completely different question. A backpack blue. That is blue. All right, we got like 1 minute left. Greg Duga, happy allocation season. It is hunting season, my friend. Cliff, what's good, dude? Working OT since Hurricane hit Carolina, late on everything. Why are the Astros breaking up with Bregman? I don't think they're breaking up with him, Chuck. They, I think Bregman he's a free agent. He's going to get paid, and he's just going to move on. They sold their house in Houston. They bought a house in Arizona. His family's still in New Mexico. He and his wife Reagan have a young son, Knox. Knox is probably 3 now, 2 or 3. But I think that's part of it, you know. I gotta go. Ken, good morning. Curious where the LSU defense ranks compared to last year at this point. Let me look that up, Ken. I mean, look, I think here's the difference. You could absolutely look stacked up. 7:45 later. I know, man. I gotta go. Let me dig deep, Ken, into that. First month where the defense is. I'll tell you, remember last year at this point, you had already played Ole Miss, like you lost to Ole Miss in September as well. So you had the Florida State loss and the Ole Miss loss already in September. So you were much lower than you are. And there's a big difference, I think, also just between yardage rankings and efficiency rankings, because LSU has played a better schedule through the first 5 weeks than most teams in college football. So naturally, you've had a bigger challenge. Your stats are going to be lower, but that tends to normalize. So in any event. Okay, I got to go. Thanks for watching. All of our sponsors, y'all, they are linked in the description on YouTube. They're tagged on Facebook. Please check them out. Support the people that support us. Locked on LSU is live. So podcast, YouTube. When we're done here, please just jump over to Locked on LSU. I'd appreciate that greatly. And AFR 3.